The next one we'll talk about is growth and development. So let's take a look at the picture first. This picture here, you can see that the egg, this is an ovum or an egg, and all these are the sperm. So all the sperm, this is the electron micrograph, scanning electron micrograph. Is they take this during the fertilization. So all the sperms will compete to be the first one to go into the egg. Once a sperm goes into the egg, then it will trigger a mechanism that we will cover in the human physiology to block other sperms from going into the eggs. And after fertilization, when the egg and the sperm merge, fuse together, we call this fertilization. When the sperm fertilize an egg, when they form one cell, two cells become one cell, we call this zygote. Zygote. So when a zygote is formed, what will be the next step? The zygote will start to split. We call this mitosis. So one zygote will become two cells going through the mitosis, and then two cells will go through mitosis again. Two cells will become four cells. And then four cells will split again, will become egg cells. The splitting of the cell is mitosis. It is a topic that we'll go through also later in this semester. And the egg cell will become 16 cells, and then 16 cells will become 32 cells. 32 cells will become 64 cells. 64 cells will become 128 cells. We call this exponential growth. And so that's why one of the characteristics of living organism is grow. And eventually the so-called zygote will keep on splitting until we will form an embryo. The last characteristic is having the capacity to adapt. Again, I want to highlight adaptation. Adaptation is very important. So you can see that in here, this animal, this insect, it looks, I would say, almost exactly as leaf. If you don't pay attention to it, it looks like leaf. This is the kind of adaptation we talk about. Insects uses this kind of adaptation strategy, camouflage, to avoid being hunted or to avoid predator for hunting them. And our human being is one of the best animal to adapt different environment. That's why we are the most successful animal. And how come human beings are so good at adapting different environment? Well, how come? Because we have a very advanced nervous system. Yes, again, it's this nervous system. Our nervous system is very good at detecting external stimuli and make a response to maintain homeostasis. Through these processes, maintaining, detecting external stimuli, making a response to deal with the stimuli in order to maintain homeostasis. All these contribute to our high successful rate of adapting different environment or different harsh environment. As you can see that, okay, some human being, we live in LA, which is like a desert, but some human being live in Seattle, which rains almost the entire year, and some human being like the Eskimo, they live in the in the icy area. So we human beings can adapt to live in a different environment. So that makes us very successful, and it is all contributed by our advanced nervous system, which takes many, many years to evolve. Yes. So now that comes to the our next slide, adaptation. So when we are able to adapt, what would be the advantage? We can produce more offspring. This is a little bit different from teenage high school teenage pregnancy. Okay, they also produce a lot of offspring, but it has nothing to do with adaptation. It has nothing to do with adaptation. So in general, the more successful animal, the better they're able to adapt, and the more offspring they can produce. And many of you have heard about natural selection or evolution. Well, natural selection is actually the mechanism for evolution. So the mechanism of evolution is natural selection. So what does it mean, a success? Or success of the adapted individual. Adapted, what does it mean, adapted or successfully adapted? Well, basically, some animal, they are born with certain trait, and this trait allow them to survive in a specific environment. In this case, we call those individual successfully adapted animals. But for if you put this animal into a different environment, even though they have the same trait that allow them to survive successfully in the previous environment, the same trait may not be able to help them to survive in a new environment. So that's the limitation of natural selection. And then evolution is the change of frequency in the trait in the population. So remember, evolution occurs in populations, not in individuals. For example, if you got a trait that is unique to you, for example, you have 6 fingers, but as you know that the rest of the population, we only have 5 fingers on one hand, so you having 6 fingers on one hand, but the rest of the population have 5 fingers, very quickly your gene, the gene that carry this, allow you to have the 6th finger, will be diluted or covered by the populations, by the genes of the majority of the population. So that's why evolution must occur in a population. That means everyone should have the gene of, let's say, 6 fingers. Then the whole population can evolve together.